YouTube, I'm Aaron, this is Chelsea. We're on Drift Week, day 48 of this trip at MSR Houston, and we're getting a chance to talk with one of the best drivers in the world. Super experienced guy, he's been drifting for probably 20 years since he was a baby, and I was gonna ask him a few silly questions. My question is because he's always building crazy stuff, and he's not in Formula D right now, so he's not building comp cars. He built a Porsche drift car this year, a 718, and then he built a V10 1 Series BMW. He's branching out from the chassis that he knows work. He's branching out from the drivetrains that he knows work. He's branching out from probably the ECUs that he knows work. He's branching out from the suspension layouts that he knows work. He's doing all, like even the engine layout. The engine's in the back of that 718. Is it a, whatever, but it's behind you.
Behind you.
Although you did try that with the MR2 and that was super interesting a while back.
Yep.
I got a bunch of stuff in my eyes, guys, so sorry if I'm blinking a ton.
The MR2 was actually the prequel to all of this.
Yeah.
Because it has the exact same suspension as it came in.
Oh, really?
Which is hilarious.
Oh.
To the T, it's identical.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Cool.
So my question is it worth building all these wacky cars because they definitely complicate your life? They definitely break and have teething pains when you bring them to an event like this, because you had a bunch of teething pains with a V10 car. Is it worth all this hassle to try and be unique and try and capture the audience of YouTube and the world and Instagram and whatever else you're doing to create media? Because you could just be at home drifting an E36 over and over and over again doing the exact same thing.
I don't even really drift E36s anymore.
Really?
Even though they're my favorite.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, it's worth it to me because I wouldn't drift anymore if I didn't keep doing this. Because it keeps me excited and intrigued to go drive it. And even when it's like a brutal letdown of a scenario, it's still like really good because it's like checking the boxes. I'm like at a weird part of my life where I have like some budget to do stuff and my partners don't necessarily care what I do with it as long as we're doing things and sharing it and bringing them along. After 20 years of working with them, like I'm able to do it. So I'm really like going about that in the way of like everything I've wanted to build, I'm trying to do now.
So you've always wanted to build a 1 Series with a V10?
No. I always wanted to build a V10 car because the engine is super cool. I never did it because it's also pretty heavy. And like to me, like that's the opposite of what I normally do. So what happened with the 1 Series, I actually didn't build the car. Tom built the car. He's been using it for a while with a V10 in it, and he lost his engine at E-Town earlier in the year, and I had the V10 set up, gearbox, all that stuff. So we were gonna put that in the E46 because I wanted to build, I have an E46 compact, like the little short back one.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, the super ugly one, it's awesome. Anyways, we were gonna put it in that, but we didn't have enough time with all the other events we were doing. So Tom had that car that had a V10 in it already, so we just put all my drivetrain in that car and went. The things I don't like about the 1 Series is the entire chassis is absolute garbage to me.
It's cute.
It's cute, but like, it is embarrassingly slow as a chassis, and its only way to make it fast is by putting a really, really good sticky tire on it, and like, that's not really what Drift Week is about. So like, I'm struggling to keep up with stock Z's out there.
That's crazy.
Like it is, I'm running like 6.5 PSI because you can't fit a big tire on it, and like struggling. And it's got a lot of front weight, so it's got all this side bite in the world, but no forward bite. So I knew that was going to be that way though. So it's been fun like learning about that car, being forced to learn about it. And I kind of knew that was going to be a thing. So it's been exciting, but definitely a thing where it's like, I have to be 100% on my A game, trying my best, and I have to beg Aaron to slow his car down, but he won't, so we can't even tandem together.
There's a really cool picture of us tandeming together.
Yeah, I was right with you on entry, and then and then you rolled out on me.
I think I was behind you. It was at
maybe. No, you were leading.
Kart track.
Yeah, the first track.
No, on the Speed Sports there's some really cool pictures.
I didn't see that then.
Yeah.
Oh, neat. I need to get those.
Yeah.
The car looks cool, it's fun, and it's the best car in the world to do backies in.
Yeah, you were slammed in to angle and you could see the blue Wise Fab on your knuckle and everything. Yeah. I thought that was funny, you'd be all mad.
Yeah, it's like this is the anti-Chelsea car. Because everyone thinks that I talk shit because I don't like the cars. But I talk shit because it doesn't really have a place in my life and career, right? The 1 Series, the E90, all those multi-link rear cars.
But you built it.
It was already built, and we used it. And
I know, but you could have driven anything else.
But I put myself in the situation so I could experience it and have fun with it. right? That's
Do you regret bringing that car on the trip?
No, it's been fine.
It's been fun.
Yeah, and like
Did require a lot of work.
It did, but like all of it was just in worry more than anything, because the engines aren't super cheap, and we had a bunch of material in the oil. But what ended up being the problem was we did rod bearings in it, but it didn't need rod bearings. I think the guy I bought it from hadn't cleaned anything on the engine, so we did rod bearings, and now it has no metal in the oil, but the rod bearings were perfectly fine. So I think that first start and run, like the accumulator, the oil cooler, all that stuff got thrown into the oil filter, caught there, and that's why it was so messy.
So jumping over to the Porsche, how much do you really get to drive that thing? Was it worth the build, all the effort? Do you really enjoy it and want to take it out over your other cars, or is it just like a stunt?
It is the best drift car I've ever built.
Then why didn't you bring that?
Because it has some issues right now.
Oh.
So I bought the car. I'll be as short as possible with this. I bought the car, the first oil change, never even drove it. It had metal in the oil. And I think the reason I was able to get it as a salvage title, I think the guy literally backed the tail light and quarter panel into a wall on purpose because his motor was bad, because there was metal in it. I've been running that motor that has metal in it, and it continues to make metal and continues to do things for the entire time I've owned it. So about 90 tires have been used in that car, and it makes metal every time. So for Drift Week, it's really hard for me to take it because it could blow up at any weekend. So for me to like take that for a long journey like this, it was just like, meh, I'm waiting. I have a new engine, it's finished, it's built, but like I'm not really stressing getting that done to bring on Drift Week.
I was kind of disappointed you didn't bring that because like the 1 Series is kind of cool, but like I don't care about the 1 Series. I'm not like emotionally attached to wanting to see it and everything and not excited, but the Porsche I was really excited about.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it in person.
I've been taking it to a lot of events, driving a few days and then bring it home, and it's fine that way because if I go and I have a failure, it's not that bad to just load it up and go home. And I usually bring 2 cars wherever I go because I have partners for 1 car, another car. We spread them out a little bit, and we have some fun driving different cars. That's what keeps me excited to keep doing it. But like I said, it's like I don't know that I want to put that much endurance time on the motor that's in there, and it could have blown up the first day, and then I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So
you got that red E36 Ti with an S54 and all that stuff. You put that S54 in it. That was a unique car that not many people have. Were there any downsides to that, like breaking expensive rear axles or anything weird?
In the very beginning there was, but I redid the rear subframe and fixed some things and the spacing of it and got the axles right. And it's been since the first Drift Week. I broke a couple axles on that trip, but since I fixed that, it's been good, no axles breaking.
Okay.
I would have brought that car, but a lot of the tracks we were running are really big tracks, and that car just like doesn't quite have the horsepower to weight that like you need to make it work. Because it's pretty heavy. Like it still has heat and HVAC and full interior and all that stuff.
I was driving my little Nakamura Z at some of the tracks, and it was a blast and did not feel like I was being held back by that thing.
Yeah, now that I look at it, it probably would have been fine because most of the tracks are momentum tracks, and it probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
But that car still, too, is like, it's been sitting. It needs some maintenance and some other little things. I've got like an arsenal of every car that I've built has been 100% completely different than the other one. So that when I feel like driving a certain type of car, I can just go drive it, which is like my biggest achievement in life, I think.
So you also did a Fox body with an EcoBoost motor, which is also really rare. Not many people were driving Fox bodies up until you did that. And not many people, I mean, there were some, but not a lot. And not many.
There were certainly some, and I respect and disrespect all of the people that did, because you guys hated me so bad, they pushed me out of a Mustang group because I was trying to help them.
Did you deserve it?
No, I was literally trying to help them, but there's 2 dudes in there that are gatekeeping pieces
Did you
of
try
shit
and
that
help
everybody
them?
believes.
Okay, well, sounds dramatic.
No, but you were saying I got in trouble because Larry Chen was like, oh, no one's really built one of these before. And I said, no one's really built one of these to be serious and competitive and take down giants with it on a budget. And everybody who owned the Fox body thought they were doing that. And I'm like, your car's not 2,200 pounds with really good setup, everything's perfect. He's like, oh, you just use bolt-on parts. It turned into this whole hilarious thing.
What is the downside of that car? Was it worth building that car?
There's
do you
basically
like the
no
EcoBoost?
downside. It's fantastic.
Not even the engine or anything like
That is my only competition car currently. Yeah. I would say the only like thing that makes it difficult is that it's direct injection only. So, like paving the way of all that has been a little bit of a struggle. We've had like a lot of little failures because of it. Okay. Not like engines or anything, but like just like losing events because the DI pump fails or shuts off, and like learning why it's doing that and things of that nature. But it's been great. Like we've won a couple events in it. It's unbelievable. It can work on any tire. It's probably the fastest drift car I've ever driven. Like if I was driving on a small track with that car, it's way faster than our FD cars that won championships.
Really?
It is the absolute fastest car you'll ever drive.
I feel like that's a challenge, and I'm going to be disappointed.
Dude, you can drive
We'll see.
I've gone to a bunch of events that had other FD drivers there, and I'll be running 40 pounds of tire pressure while they're running 6, and I'm pushing their doors in, waiting for them to get out of the way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you also drove that MR2. It was a drift car. You've had tons of unique drift cars over the years. What's next? Don't you have to say the exact car?
Yeah,
just like, what's the concept?
For me, I want to build a ride-along car that will be exciting, that will also possibly double as like another Drift Week type build. So we've already got that, and we're kind of moving forward with that.
Do you want to tell us what it is?
No, I can't tell you yet.
But you could tell us it needs to be 4 doors, it needs to be heavy, it needs, like, you know, it doesn't need to be heavy, but it's going to be heavy because it needs enough torque.
With 4 people in it, it will be.
It needs enough torque to move it around. It needs to be 4 doors, and you have to be able to fit a cage in it for what you want to do probably, which means it needs to have a large back seat,
He
which
might
means
already
it has
know what
to
it
be
is,
big.
so he's getting very specific here to try
No, I was going to say, you probably want to be a German car, so like, whether it be, I'm not going to name a brand.
Somebody was telling me that the other day, and I was like, man, you're right. I really don't mess around too much with Japanese cars. It's for no reason outside of they're just kind of overpriced for everything.
Yeah.
Like the European shit just tanks and isn't worth anything pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So like, but Japanese stuff, if I want to build a chaser, I could build like a 2020 BMW for the same price as a nice JZX 100.
If you guys can think of what we're thinking, like with the realm of my reasoning here, put it in and guess
put it
what
in the comments. I'm curious.
But I was going to say it can't be an A4 because an A4 is too small.
See, he's digging now.
It can't be a BMW
I would
unless
never
it's
build an Audi unless it was from the 80s.
You're going to screw up this and tell everybody exactly what you're going to build. You couldn't do a BMW unless it's literally a 7 Series, and I can't see you driving a 7 Series. 5 Series is probably too small for what you want to do.
I really want to build a 97 Series with a sick engine.
Why don't you do it?
I'm not doing that.
Why?
I kind of don't want to do. I'm so good at building cars that are simple, and like that build would have a crazy engine in it and a bunch of stupid shit.
You could just put an LS in it.
LS is the most complicated engines ever. Every time they blow up,
not.
nobody even knows why they blew up.
It's because they're shittily designed on purpose, so they're easy to manufacture and everything else, and they're great.
I'm not an LS guy. I'd drive an LS car any day of the week. I find it hard for me to spend money on an LS engine because I've seen more LSs blow up than any other engine in drifting.
Yeah.
Granted, there's more used.
Because they're very
drifting.
accessible and everything else.
But they all blow up, and every time someone's like, I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. And I'm like, they're just not motorsport engines. They're good to make power. You can make thousands of horsepower on them. But they're not like an engine that's built for motorsports to me.
So it's going to be a 4-door car. It's going to be a pretty long wheelbase so you can fit people.
Car. It could be 6, 8.
There's no such thing as a 6-door car. So it's not going to. He's going to say 5-door, and it's going to be a hatch 4-door or something like that. That's what you mean by 5.
It could be 8 doors.
8 doors is going to be real useful.
Maybe I just want to make so much money doing ride-alongs that I want to pack 10 people in the car at one time.
Like the monster truck stuff?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be 4 doors. It's probably going to be 4 doors. It's going to be long wheelbase. It's going to be all that stuff. You wouldn't want to drive this car at all unless you're doing ride-along. So it's going to be this was a really long way for me to get around to that. It's going to be a ride-along car, which is really heavy with large tires and everything else to make it work. Because
you're basically just describing my Mustang, though. And that's fine, not doing ride-alongs.
2 doors.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but with all the...
3,800 pounds is what my current, the black Mustang weighs.
That's crazy.
So I think you could build a 4-door car lighter than that even.
You could.
That has...
Obviously, but not once there's 4 people in it.
No.
Okay, so anyways, it's the complete anti-Chelsea. So it's gonna be just a ride-along car. This car is not gonna be something for you to get excited about going to drive, is what I mean. It's gonna be a dedicated ride-along car.
Yep.
Okay.
And I mean, it might be fine for other stuff, but that's not why I'm building it. drift week, ride along car, like fun enjoyment thing, like can do some ride alongs for companies and other things, and just do like have another type of like car in my arsenal. Because I have like the really light American car, I have like my low power, fun, cool Corolla, I have like the Fox body like that, and then I have the Porsche for like flashy stuff, like fun events. Like I'm really loving that car and enjoying it, so like I would like to take that to every event that I can take it to. I've got the TI for like some of the toge stuff, more technical things, and just every car has like a different purpose. And I felt like none of my cars had a current purpose for some of the drift week tracks that were really big and all that. So that's why we did the V10 thing. But the V10 will go in something else soon, at some point.
So what's your last Flexmaster car gonna be that you build? Well, I mean, the 718 is cool, but I don't think that people think of it as like an unobtainable, like Halo type car.
Why do you need to build that? What's the reason?
You
for
don't,
that?
but I'm saying like you're kind of just building all kinds of crazy stuff. Are you gonna build something like a GT3?
No.
No? Are you gonna build a McLaren or something drift car? No. What are you gonna build that like your partners
I don't think
and
people
stuff
realize that I bought the Porsche for like 28 grand, and I built it for like another like 12 grand.
Yeah.
So like you're naming these cars that would.
So you're never gonna build
me.
a crazy thing.
No, it's stupid. It's so much money. You can leave that to Mad Mike and those dudes. That's fine.
Yeah. So you don't have any interest in the crazy stuff?
I have no interest in it.
So are you at the end of cool cars that you want to build?
No, there's tons of things that are really cool that people haven't done yet that aren't $1 million. Oh, there's still like MR2 stuff that could be fun. There's still other Porsche stuff that could be fun.
Such as?
I think it'd be cool to do like a Panamera car, or like do a like Boxster, like an older Boxster. Maybe do an LS or something odd in that car. I guess that's not odd. Lots of people do LS Porsches. I don't know. There's lots of different things you can do. There's like older Japanese cars that people don't really fuck with anymore that could be cool, that are long wheelbase and like fun and enjoyable. There's a lot of cars out there that people don't mess with that are way better than the cars that people actually mess with.
Well, I was gonna say most of the cars have been getting done though. Like there's so many people doing crazy YouTube builds and stuff. Like what's next? You could do something like.
The thing is like just because you build a car and you drift, it doesn't mean it's a drift car. Like we need like, not like talking shit, but like there's a lot of builds out there that are like, oh, he built a drift car, but like they never really drift it. They only drift it for like content pieces and other things.
Yeah.
Like the Porsche has been to 9 events this year. And like we just drive it around with everybody in tandem with random people. It's like just like a drift car.
Yeah.
And it is purposely built and is a really good drift car. So I think a lot of the YouTube stuff, the people aren't necessarily smart enough to really build a good car. And that's kind of like where I come into play to make it really good. Because we have 20 years of experience doing it.
But I was gonna say you could build something crazy like Saito's R32 where the engine's moved like 4 feet back and like all this crazy. Are you gonna build anything crazy like that?
I am not a good car builder. I'm a chassis guy.
Okay.
Like, also like those
crazy.
cars all are like 2 commas the wrong direction. Like for
money,
my kind of builds, dude. Like I don't run on that kind of budget. Everybody seems to think I do, but I don't. I make a lot with little.
All right. Well, I guess we're done.
Yeah, I feel like one of Saito's GTR builds is like, those are $150,000, $200,000 builds.
I meant the R32 one.
Even
like
still,
that's kind of built at home, has an RB in it.
500 plus hours probably into doing that, and then it has a $25,000
I think they just have
RB
like Russian people over there that work for very little.
Oh, we're gonna backpedal this a little bit.
No, I was gonna say.
Also, Daigo, you can tell Daigo has plenty enough money to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm still like having to make sure my partners are happy, make sure all these things are happening, make sure I can have enough money to survive outside of drifting. Like it's a little bit different than my scenario.
Okay. So nothing crazy like that then?
No, I don't have any plans to.
Interesting.
Also, all of my cars, if you look at it, they're not crazy. Like my Porsche has the original engine in it, and I'm not putting a different engine in it because of how much time, money, and effort it's going to cost. So like I built the car purposely for the exact reason that it is.
I've been thinking about doing, like, for myself, I was gonna like go grab a Formula Mazda, little, you know, like open wheel race car, like a little F1 looking thing, or like, but then I was like, I can't tandem with that. And, like, looking for different kinds of wacky cars to drift, because like that'd be hilarious, like a car with aero and everything else, with no torque, like it would. Maybe would work, maybe be mental.
I do that too. Like I've been looking a lot at like some of the like aged out rally cars and stuff that already are that are all-wheel drive that have like good setups to just make them rear-wheel drive and maybe do like better axles and a diff. But like the rest of the car is mostly built, and like it could be really cool to do like a Lancia or something, or like one of those cars, and have it be like just like the rally car, but just change all the geometry and make it work for a drift car. It'd be fun. Or like a Peugeot 206 that we just have a rear-wheel drive or something.
Those Clio rear-wheel drive V6 things would be hilarious.
Those are $1 million now.
I saw the, you could build one shittily though.
No, you could, you could.
Did you see that Mini Cooper that was drifting and it like does wheelies and spins around?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to do that?
I mean, I haven't, no.
I don't know if they have like some weight thing in the back that moves or something.
That has a Hayabusa V6 engine in the back, like some crazy twin Hayabusa motor.
It would be a V8 then.
V8, yeah, maybe. Yeah. But it's in the very back.
I didn't know if it had some type of like trick thing where a weight moved back so it could do wheelies and.
No, I think you just throw it in and get the side light on it, and when you light off, it just lifts the front end off.
Oh, it looks gnarly.
Yeah, it's cool.
But I was gonna say, like,
Liam's car.
To take drifting to another level and like make it wacky and change things and like figure something out, because drifting isn't like Nitro Circus where you can go do another backflip and do a double backflip and then a triple backflip and then a quadruple backflip. Drifting is very driver focused a lot of the time, where we're having fun inside the car, but the spectators are seeing the exact same thing over and over again. And maybe they see us get closer, or they see a new build or a new car or something else, but it's very repetitive, especially at the professional levels.
Yeah, I think the future of all that and kind of what you're saying is like everybody just taking 5% more effort in making drifting better that is involved already, and doing a thing where, you know, hey, we have this, like team tandem is the most hilarious thing to me ever. Team tandem is the most exciting thing for a spectator to watch, right? There's some good, there's some bad, there's whatever, but the whole thing, start to finish, with if the three of us are in a tandem team, our goal is to look the best we can look. There's no competition aspect of it outside of looking the best we can all look together. There's no seriousness in team tandem. There should definitely be more seriousness. Like that should be more of a thing that like everybody talks about growing drifting. Team tandem should absolutely be something that is like more a competition. All these people from different regions, the hype of that, and like, so that's something we already do that just doesn't get any attention.
Final Bout's getting good attention.
No, I agree. I'm not saying anything about that. That's good. I think it's good. But there's more to it than that, right? And some of the driving there now looks great because everybody plans it out. Everybody has had enough time doing it where they've perfected setting their cars up to be equal and do all that. And like, sure, you don't have a bunch of pro drivers out there doing it, but it looks great. Sometimes looks better than FD to someone spectating because the cars look cool, all that stuff. So I'm saying, like, you have competition drifting. That's all sorted. It's going to do whatever it does. There's a bunch of million things driving that the direction that it does that none of us, even myself, understand. That's just going to keep going. But there's all these other facets of drifting that could grow a lot more. Even Drift Week, like, could be something bigger than what it is by having live stream at some of the events so everybody can follow along, doing these things like that 5%.
If it was run better.
Right.
You can say that.
I mean, I'm not talking shit about you at all because it's great and it's fun, and one of the best parts is that there's not a million people paying attention to everything you're doing.
Yeah.
But like if we want to grow it and make it something bigger and cooler, and like you were saying, you don't necessarily have to do all this crazy stuff. You could just have more with what we have, and do a more organized way of doing it. Because I believe drifters, and I can attest to this, we're not very organized.
I was gonna say, my problem with Drift Week and Lone Star and everything else is I've never thrown spectator-focused events. It's always driver-focused.
For sure.
So there's not a lot for the spectators to do, and we don't even let them on Drift Week, really. It's just all drivers.
I agree.
And I think that's why a lot of the YouTubers liked it in the beginning, is because they didn't have to have people around.
Yeah.
I think Adam and all those guys would much rather not have people around. I was just thinking, back up like 2 minutes ago when you're talking about making drifting better, like the team events or everything else, I just had a unique thought where there's no longer a YouTube channel or anything like that that functions like a magazine where they go and cover all the events. You have individuals that are looking at things from their own perspective and filming something, and
But
maybe
no
they do it really
hierarchy
well.
of it.
But yeah, there's no like thing at the top. You have like Drift Masters or FD kind of doing their live streams and stuff, but you
But it's all
individually.
competition based then.
Yeah, there's not like Larry Chen with a team of 10 dudes that go around and shoot an event and then make it exquisitely edited and shot and give it to you in a format like a TV show used to have. But I guess maybe we don't need that and we've grown past it because you just go to your individual vlogger that went to that thing.
Yeah, I think you'd have a hard
explains
time nowadays with how everybody treats content and does everything to be able to do that because everybody just tries to burn everybody and get it out first. And
Yeah, but it would be interesting with Speed Hunters type
I
quality
agree.
or something else. If someone was kind of like Option Video back in the day, there was some type of distribution of media that went around and looked at those teams like Option Video did,
Yeah.
and then blew those teams up. Because right now,
And certainly you have an outlet for it that can be financially supported, whereas like they did it back in the day off just selling DVDs and mailing them. Like
Yeah.
certainly now, something like that would work. The problem is, like there's a new generation of understanding that needs to be.
Yeah.
So someone needs to take that torch and do it. You know.
I don't think anybody's going to do it.
No.
I think it'd be too
And
difficult.
I think it's hard to just do it with drifting. It'd have to be motorsports. And then at that point, you're like, okay, how do we do this? How do we have enough people to cover all these events and do all that stuff? And then you're like, well, I could just go watch somebody else's channel. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm like always like, you know, we talk about it all the time. We're like, oh, we're gonna do this, and then we're like, it'd be really cool to do this, and this, and you're like, but like, we don't really have the financial support to do it, and like, we're already doing this, and it's gonna work. Like, we're just gonna not cop out about it, but like, it's really risky to bolt on. Like, let's say if you wanted to live stream Drift Week, like it'd be really risky to bolt on $100,000 program to Drift Week, like, and then getting partners to believe in that is hard. But when you're like, oh, we're gonna have people live streaming at the event, and then when we go out to dinner, they'll be like live stream shit, like whatever, like these little bits all the time, and then we're gonna go here and there and all this stuff, like we're gonna live stream parts of Drift Week, right? Exactly.
I was
People
going to
would
say
love
you're going to make
watch
it where I don't want to do it anymore.
Exactly. That's what I was
I
getting
wouldn't
at.
want to do Drift Week if I had to live stream it.
Right. And the partners are not going to be like, how do I find the value? They're going to be like, how do I find the value in this?
Yeah.
Even though people would love to consume it. I mean, think about how many people are consuming Drift Week and searching it and looking it up and paying attention and following what we're all doing. So their proof's already there. But like I said, there could be some more.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be from the correct channel, the live stream, so it wouldn't get the views and all these things. Because like the first 3 or 4 Drift Weeks, we had like 10 million views on YouTube, but it's on my channels. Like I might have done 1 million, and like, but the big views come from Hoonigan and Chelsea, or you did some big, but like Adam did the really big ones.
Yeah.
And Hoonigan did. Hoonigan was doing like 800,000 views per video, and they would just like all my videos combined like equal one of those kind of thing.
But that's like a thing where.
But if I had a live stream, it wouldn't get anywhere near any of that, you know?
But maybe it's not a live stream through your channel. It's a live stream through a partner that believes in it.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe that's Motor Trend or something else or whatever.
I wonder if we have $50 we can go buy Hoonigan right now.
Maybe. The buyout's probably still 15 or 20 mil.
Yeah. With all the debt associated.
Right.
Interesting.
We all knew that was going to happen, or I did at least. Saw the writing on the wall there, that they were just going to crush that.
Well, not to get too off topic, but I always thought it was insane that Hoonigan, man, they did so many things right and so many things, I guess, wrong in retrospect. But I was going to say, it was insane that they would build up the characters, and then as soon as it's time to renegotiate or do anything, there's nothing keeping those characters there because all the characters hold all of the audience. If that makes sense, because they're all the stars. So as the main channel that's paying them and making them famous and putting up all the money to do all the shoots and getting all the partners and doing everything, you're creating your own competition constantly and incentivizing them to leave because there's no way that you could continually pay them enough to stay.
I don't know how they did it, but I don't know how they didn't give the first like 6 or 8 people stake in the company. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they did or they didn't. I doubt they did because people were leaving left and right. But like, how are you not going to do that when you're going to build all these characters and do all that? Also, for the people that were involved in it, like that sucks too because like, I don't know, they might have asked, they didn't ask, whatever it is. Like that whole scenario blows.
Yeah. But that's going to be that way for all of those big channels like Donut and everything else, which I guess already imploded. But they all have the problem of building up stars, giving them a platform, and then that platform doesn't have to follow them on the Hoonigan channel. Like all the audience will easily move, like straight to a new channel for them immediately.
It's just like big business. It's like they think that you can replace employees like well and easy.
Yeah.
Like certainly there's sometimes as a business you get rid of an employee and you've improved with the next person. But most of the time it's the other way around for at least a year or whatever. And then if you have a high turnover rate, you just crush the business with poor employees. It's the same thing. Like you have to motivate those people, and the people that are good, you have to recognize it and keep them there. So.
All right.
Way off topic.
Did you have another thought or no? Okay. My last thought
I have
is.
a question for when you're done.
Oh, hold on to it for 1 second. I'll say mine, and then you say yours, and maybe we'll answer one of them. My last thought is I want to do one more build soon. I want it to be sub 2,000 pounds. I want it to be able to spend like a 285 Volino, maybe even an R.
Yeah.
And I want it to be fast as fuck. And like I get to drive some mini FD car
My
with
question goes along with this really well.
very low tire wear, so that I get to go fast as F, very low tire wear, very high excitement factor, pump gas, and like all of these things. And it's very hard to get there with a car with a body on it. I could take my current circle track
You're
there.
literally describing my Fox body to the T. Like to the T.
I'll have to drive it.
Yeah, you should drive it.
I was gonna say,
It's 2370 with me in it. So
I think my circle
close.
track car is like 30 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Do you run 285s on it?
I mean, I run 275 NTO1s,
Okay.
so it's pretty good.
Is that stickier than a Volino? I don't know.
I mean, it's sticky.
It's sticky? Okay. I haven't driven on your
don't
fancy ass
drive on
tires that are
Volinos.
$500 each.
I think they're around the same price as a Volino.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I thought the NTO ones were super
I
expensive.
think they're about 200 a tire.
Okay.
So it's pretty close.
So I was gonna say that's what I want for my next build. It doesn't so much matter what it is. Like it could be a
same.
Porsche, it could be this, or it could be that. So I think about my next build in terms of what I want out of it, not by like flexing on somebody and I want like a Ferrari or whatever to go do it
That's
with.
what my whole life is. I'm with you.
So I want to hit those things, and I got really close with my circle track car. However, it doesn't have a body, doesn't have a windshield, so like 120 miles an hour, you're like neck snap back.
That and it's like good, but like not great.
Oh, it doesn't handle great, but
Right.
it's super fun to drive.
Right.
And on a track that it works on, it works really well. And on a track that it doesn't, it's like wonky.
Yeah, it's miserable.
It's not miserable, like I have to think because it transitions differently left to right.
It makes it fun though.
Yeah, but I just have to remember like right has no grip, left has tons of grip. So you just have to drive differently.
Or you could just fix that.
I've been meaning to put that on the dash. Well, it's 60% weight on one side and like 30% weight
Yeah,
on
but
the
you
other
can
side.
work around that. You
Yeah.
could square it up a little bit easier. That's the Porsche thing too, is like obviously very light on the front end, lots of weight right in front of the rear suspension, all that stuff.
That sounds sick.
Yeah, no, it's really good, but like also you can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna drive it how it is. You have to take away some of what is good and give it some of what is bad, you know, so that way you have a car that comes out of the box like pretty neutral. And that's what we did with that car, and that's why I said there's ways to make your car a lot better.
Come drive it sometime and play.
Yeah, I think I drove it at Adam's place. Did I not drive it?
No,
at
I don't
Adam's
think
place?
so. I think I broke it at the thing. Maybe
you-
I don't think you drove it at
I
Adam's
feel like
place.
I drove it in the morning at Adam's place.
I don't think so. I wouldn't remember
I
that.
remember it being super rowdy and having a metric shitload of front grip, like forward grip.
Yeah, it does. That solid axle with the
Yeah,
long arm,
trailing
like
arm.
the initial hit kind of thing is sick.
Yeah.
I worry about the transmission. But I was gonna say it's still iron block, all these things. I could probably get that thing down to 2,000 pounds, but like you start spending way more than you bought the car for.
And you might
you're
want to
just
start
like,
with a road race one too.
Yeah, I've thought about that.
Yeah.
I got rid of my NASCAR Cup car thing so I could redo everything. So what was your question?
My question was, why do you feel the need to have a car that is 30% faster than everyone else on Drift Week for the entire Drift Week?
Oh, we wanted to take the good cars to Hallett, and I was driving my Z a bunch, and I had just as much fun in my Z.
I don't mean the car, but like how much grip you put in the car. So that like no one can actually chase you and we're driving straight all the
The
time.
people
to
I
catch
was
up
driving with a bunch did chase and everything, and like
with like half the angle and doing everything they can instead of you just freeing your car up a little bit so we could all drive together and have fun.
that's a good question, but I wasn't really like I'm not out on track with you guys all the time banging around. I have a limited amount of time I get to drive. And I was really excited to drive my S14, how it's set up right now on some of these tracks. And to like, a lot of the time you'll notice I'm driving alone too. Like I'm just going to do little backies. I'm kind of just out there like relaxing and doing my thing. I should be out there tandeming a lot more. And I was really tandeming a bunch in the Z or like driving way harder.
I was just curious because I was
I just really wanted to drive my car as it was. And like at Hallett, I really wanted to drive Hallett as hard as I could because I never get to drive there. I was gonna say, I told you this on the side too. I really wanted to drive my car set up well and all that stuff so I could go drive as hard as I could and not float the car around because this was my outlet on this trip to do that, if that makes sense. Where I normally don't even, up until the last like year and a half, I never drove that car like gripped up on 285s. The car always floated around, especially at those LZ events. I was always floating the car because that car has no grip without a good tire on it. It's a very tire dependent car. I was having a lot of fun kind of driving the car and driving myself. I wasn't so worried about tandem on this, which I totally understand. But also, I drive with Rudy and Fielding and a bunch of people, and they all grip the shit out of their cars. And
but still it's a struggle. Your shit was way faster than everybody's.
Okay, well, thank you very much. No, I was gonna say, but in my defense, Chelsea always drives faster than me because he's a better driver, and I kind of have to bring a better car and stuff. So
I know, but I have no chance. I was crying in the car. I was like, I was driving my boys, and I'm like,
I honestly didn't know your car would be that slow.
Yeah, it's really slow. It's like, the slowest car I'm driving.
Yeah, he has more cylinders than me and a more modern chassis. With WiseFab, you brought everything you could.
No, I didn't. It's the worst car.
But if you described that car to me, you brought a V10, like WiseFab car on Nittos and like sponsored tires and all this shit. I thought your car would be way faster.
Yeah.
I did not think you would be that slow.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
It was a struggle to even keep up with stock Zs.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was gonna say I jumped in.
It also is unfair though because everybody here has Volinos.
Okay, but I was just gonna say. I jumped in my
drifting.
No, that tire's sick as F.
Yeah, because it just makes any car good. That doesn't help drifting.
Not all of us have great suspension setup like you. But I was gonna say, I was driving my Z and I was at Hallett, which was one of the faster tracks. Yeah. I was driving with Fielding and like pushing him around the track and stuff in my Z and felt like a little hero. And Fielding was probably on worn tires, like blowing up his motor like normal.
Well, he only puts spicy tires on to drive with you, and then he puts other ones on every other time.
Oh, does he?
And I was able to drive with him a little bit when his car was freed up a bit.
Yeah. Oh, final thought, if this is a final thought. The answer to your question is it's always, do I bring a great car to Drift Week that I know is good on great tires that I have set up that kind of sucks dick on the street and everything else, and you have the best drift car possible? Or on Drift Week, do you bring a car that's comfortable on the street that just kind of jams around like Taylor's car or Taylor Ray's car, the F80, and all this stuff that isn't the best drift car? I chose to bring like my little comp car. On Drift Week 1, I brought an SC300 with a 1J in it with stock twins and everything else, and it was pretty miserable.
Yeah.
It was not set up well for drifting. Fucking Matt Field and everybody just like left me standing because my car made 250.
That's why I didn't bring the TI for this trip.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so I did bring completely underpowered cars on Drift Week before that were set up for the street, full interior. That bitch weighed 3,800 pounds probably for an SC300.
Yeah.
And it left me wanting all the time on track. So I heavily weighed on my normal 285 08C, which is a very sticky tire. And my LS3 car, but it's just LS3 with a cam. Your car is a V10. Your car makes more power.
Power doesn't mean anything.
Okay, just saying.
I literally won an event earlier this year in my Fox body with 300 horsepower, and I mopped everybody in it.
He has to convince the world he's a better driver than me, and I appreciate it. You're making me feel bad about it myself.
I'm just saying. That's all.
Yeah.
I was just curious because I'm like, oh, you could just put 10 pounds of tire pressure in your car, and all of us would be pretty close. Like we could actually drive together and shred, and you would not go 1 mile per hour slower. You would go just as fast.
Me?
Yeah.
If I put 10 psi of tire pressure? More. I was like, if I put 10 psi of tire pressure in my tires, like, this thing's going to get spicy.
No, but I was just saying, like, you could have put
I'm about 24 psi hot, I think.
So you could have
maybe 30.
Right. Hot. Okay.
Yeah, hot.
Yeah. I don't know what hot is.
Probably 30.
3 times what I put in cold, probably.
Yeah. So anyways, I wanted a solid car, all that stuff. And my car feels a lot safer with good tires on it.
Yeah, I agree.
And a 285 than if I go down to 265. And then the other secret to that, I'm talking about this too much, is I get a certain amount of tires from Valino a year.
Right.
And I might as well get the correct
longer.
size, which is 285s, and they last longer on track. They work better on track. There's almost no cost difference when you buy a 285 versus a 265.
I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. You just put air in your tires.
Okay, I could have done that. Okay, anything else?
Because going on drift weeks is about having fun and driving with your boys, dude.
It is. I had
or
a
at
lot
least
of
that's
fun.
why I come drive it.
I did drive a ton, by the way. And like Edwin in the E36, I drove with him a ton today. I like my car a tiny bit faster than everybody else's, so it makes it easier to drive.
No, I agree with that. A tiny bit makes sense.
Yeah, and then
Your shit was just a lot.
I roll off, as soon as we hit second gear, I roll off the throttle for a split second, you know, like to let everybody catch up, and then I roll back in and floor it, and then I'm full throttle all the way through third, you know, like on the fast tracks.
Yeah.
So I try and let everybody catch up and everything.
Yeah, I was able to, basically if there's no dig on the track, I'll pull away from anybody because I'll just go way faster than you into every turn because like the confidence is there. But the problem is, like here at this track, like the minute I get into turn 8, they call it, like by the time I'm at 12, there's like you have 15 cars on me. I even stopped drifting.
Oh, did you
straight away.
tandem with me?
No, I'm just saying, like
Oh.
with dudes with hooked up cars and crazy.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, like, can you drive with me? Like, I'm like, I can't.
Honestly, though, if you would have brought that Porsche, you wouldn't have been behind us. You would have been keeping up, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You just brought a car that you weren't confident in, and then you wanted to nerf us all.
What?
Nerf us. Make our cars as slow as your shitty 1 Series.
No, that's not the case at all. It's just the extra
Yes, it
bit.
is.
Oh my God, here we go.
I'm just saying, if you, I have been with him, and he's faster at Ebisu with me in his
And
car
I
or
slow
whatever.
my car down for you.
No, you don't.
Every time.
No, you don't.
You're like, oh, you're pulling away. I'm like, okay, I put more air in my tires.
I don't believe it.
Every time. Yo, at Ebisu with my E36, I run like 50 PSI.
We were in
tire pressure.
Poland, and I got like the 325, and you got like the 330, and you drove
We
away
were
from
on
the whole time.
retreads, bro. We were on retreads.
All right. Go
And
pack
I
up.
offered to switch cars with you every time.
No, you didn't.
Every time. I said, let's switch.
I wanted left-hand drive, though, because I'm better
Yeah, I
at it,
know.
and you had right-hand drive.
Yep.
I really enjoyed that
So you
car.
had that advantage? I couldn't even drive right-hand drive then.
You couldn't?
I mean, I figured it out.
Oh, the Night
Si's like,
guys
are you guys-
invited us
are
to
you
go
guys done
snow
yet?
drifting. You should.
Let's go.
Let's go snow drifting. I want to do
We
that.
can get little 316 TIs on penny pincher tires. And
I would
go
love to
shred.
do it.
Super fun.
All right.
We're
Goodbye,
gonna have to
everybody.
buy like 3 cars each though, because we're definitely gonna crash them.
No.
Goodbye.